Hey y'all, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Angela and this is my channel about cross stitch and a few other little crafty projects that I like to do. This is probably going to be a short video because I've only worked on a few things since on my last video. But one of them is a full coverage piece, and I feel like I've just used a lot of my time trying to get to 10% on it, and I'm not there yet. But I'll show that to you in a minute. Today is Thursday, and I don't really have many life updates. Let's see what's happened in the past week. It's pretty sad when you just can't remember. I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago and to check on my leg. I had a tear in my calf muscle, and I haven't really been able to walk that well. I couldn't put any weight on it, and now I can. You know, I'm not limping as much as I was, so that is a good thing. Actually, I'm not really limping at all, but I'm afraid to use it and do a lot of cardio stuff with my leg, and I definitely don't want to go play tennis or pickleball anytime soon. And I'll probably have to wear a brace on it, but besides that, it's getting better. It's just time, and so instead of doing cardio, I've just been doing some weights and stuff just to make myself feel better. The weather's been really pretty here. We got some rain yesterday and this morning. Actually, it was yesterday afternoon to evening, and then I know it stormed in the middle of the night because I heard it. Woke me up, it thundered and was lightning and all that kind of stuff. But we were in a drought here in Georgia, so it was needed rain. And the good thing is that the baseball game still got played. I'm talking about the playoffs. I'm a big fan of the Atlanta Braves, and we're in their second game of the playoffs against the Phillies, and the game was supposed to be at 4:30, and apparently it rained for 3 hours, and I got pushed to a night game. And so my husband had gone into Atlanta in the early afternoon. He donates platelets every 6 months. I don't know have I even talked about this before. He goes and gives platelets, which is different than giving blood. His mother had a rare cancer, and I can't remember the name of it. I've kind of blocked it out that whole time of my life, but anyway, so she had to get platelets a lot for she had to have a bone marrow transplant, and my husband was the donor. Anyway, so it just, after she passed away, he really wanted to do something that was, to honor his mother, and there was a big need for the platelets, and she had to have hers washed. I don't know that much about it, but she had an allergic reaction if the platelets weren't washed. But anyway, there was a big need for them, and so he goes and he donates them, and it's a 3-hour process. And so he came home last night or yesterday evening and was just tired and took a nap, and then he got to watch the whole entire game, and they won, yay! And so now we're tied. We had to win that one if we have any chance of going on. And to be honest with you, they don't play very well when they play in the afternoon or in the afternoons. They're much better at night. I don't know what it is, but they won. It was good. My son actually lives very close to the Braves Stadium, and he was able to go to the game. I should show you this picture. He lives a block away from the stadium, and let me pull it up. Because they changed the game time, when he got home from work, he was able to find really, really cheap seats. It was sold out before. He was able to get, like, because I guess people were trying to sell their tickets because they weren't going to go because the game was delayed by 3 hours. I understand that. But anyway, he got a cheap seat. And let me find this picture. Where is it? It was really pretty because it had been cloudy and raining, and the weather was awful, but this was right before the game time. See that sky? Anyway, I love it when he sends pictures like that to me. But that was before the game started, so he was able to go, which is good because who knows if he'll get a chance to go to another one because they might be out or he might not get a ticket, whatever. And then he just got, when it was over, he just walked home because, like I said, he lives like a block away from the stadium, which is nice. Okay, and so anyway, that's about it. That's my life update. I'm so boring. I'm really the most boring person ever, I feel like. What have I been stitching on? What have I done? Okay, first of all, we're going to start with non-stitching stuff. I finished something today. It didn't take me that long, but it's a little side project. I showed you one of these that I did earlier. It's a scissor fob. That's what it's supposed to look like. From Fern Ridge Collections. And this one's called Getaway Ghost. I did a mermaid earlier, like a month ago. I was so happy that I taught myself how to do it. Well, I used, a video. I think I talked about that in my last video. I watched a tutorial from Liz, Country Stitches. Anyway, so I was happy I did it, and now I did this ghost. Let me turn it around here so you can see the little charm there. So this is the peyote beads, and then these different beads that you make the fringe with. But yeah, I made all of that just with following the directions, and it's on my little tiny scissors. I like them for my little tiny scissors, so I don't like lose them. But I just love the way it sparkles, and I beat it all that together. Aren't you impressed? I am. I'm impressed with myself. And I actually have another one that I ordered that I am going to do next. It's like a fall-ish one. Okay, talking about fall stitching. I feel like I just was about to talk about something and then I stopped talking. Okay, so let's just start with this project right here, the Haunted Mansion. This is one I've been working on, it seems like forever. I don't write these things down, so I need to do better at that, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do better at that in a minute. But so yes, the Haunted Mansion. I decided I'd been working on just the house, and I hadn't started any of the rooms yet, but I decided to start that room up there. I was like, you know what, I'll finish the background later. I just really, really want to get to the rooms. So I did start on a room. Let me unfold this. Okay, so see, I started right there. That's the room. And now back up here and show you. I've got so much fabric on the bottom. I guess when I ordered this, I didn't know how to. This is like one of the very first projects I've ever worked on before. I mean, like, when I first started stitching, I didn't know. Like, I remember having to Google, what does 14 count mean? What does 16 count mean? What does over 2 mean? I mean, I was like, I would Google it, or I go on YouTube and type it in. My hair is doing something very strange. Okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted by looking at myself in the camera. Nice. So yeah, I did not know what I was doing. This is on 14 count, I believe. called Tarnished. It's 14 count or 16 count. I'm not really sure. What does it say? Oh, it's 14 count. Okay, so I worked on that a little bit and got some of it done, that room done. So that was fun and easy, and I have all the floss, and so that's nice. Okay, then the next thing I worked on, let's just go back to the having to Google what 14 count is. I'm so glad that there are people who make YouTube videos and well, mostly YouTube videos to kind of tell you, explain these things, because it honestly helped me a lot. And then of course I could just Google it also and explained it. But I'm like a watcher. Like if I read it, sometimes I don't get it, and I have to actually see it being done to understand. That's how amazing this community is and how much I've learned. And that's one of the things I think I like about cross stitch, is like it challenges me. There's always something new to learn, and it's amazing how much I have learned and just gotten brave enough to try, because let me just show you. I never ever thought that I would be stitching on linen. You know, the name of my channel used to be Angela the Ada Lover, because I said I would never, ever, 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 no one would ever make me. There's no way that I would ever stitch on anything but Ada, because Ada was my favorite, and I still like Ada. But I was wrong. And that's why I changed my name, because I was like, it's not really true anymore. I'm not really just a lover of Ada. This is a project that I am doing with my two ladies on Instagram, and they have YouTube channels, and I'm going to pull up their names real quick. Okay, so this is, first of all, Teresa Kogut's Silhouettes Quaker. And talking about learning, that's how far, that's what I've done, which is not much, but it is much, because I'm doing it in hand. That's why it's all, the fabric's all like smunched up. This is on straw, I think Weeks Dye Works straw, and it's 40 count. 40 count. So I went from, I'm not stitching on anything, I went from not knowing what 14 count was to stitching on 40 count in like 2 years, maybe 3, however long I've been doing this. So that's what I've got so far. And this is the color, the main color in this is using a Weeks Dye Works Swamp Water, and the other color is a green color called Guacamole, which I haven't added any in there. And this is a stitch along, start along, whatever you want to call it, with Belushi. Let me pull it up. Belushi Stitches Joe. You can find her on Instagram under Belushi Stitches, or on YouTube, Belushi Stitches. And then the other person that's doing this is Kelly, and on Instagram it's animal _ stitches, and on YouTube she's Animal Instinct. And I didn't know that she was a veterinarian. That's what it says on her Instagram, which totally makes sense since her name is Animal Instincts, right? Learn something new every day. And I've watched her videos. For some reason, I don't know why, I just never picked up on that. Okay, so one more look. Silhouettes Quaker. Okay, next is a little project that I tried this past week. Let me find her name. I was on Instagram. This is where I get my a lot of my inspirations or my wants on Instagram. And I looked I was looking, just scrolling through, and saw a post that Kim Goldman did. She is awesome. She is so creative. She is a super, super fast stitcher. Like, I wish I was that fast. And I have lots of time to stitch. I just guess I'm slow. But it's on Instagram. She's K Goldman 63, and on YouTube, The Contented Stitcher. Very, very nice lady. A lot of times, most every video, she ends her videos with like scripture from the Bible. I don't know. It's just so, and it's so many times I've needed to hear exactly what she or her husband have said, and I just appreciate that so much. And I will send her questions on Instagram, and she is really good at answering back. And anyway, I just really like her. But she put a post about how she did a cute little project on perforated paper. Is that how you say it? Not perforated. Perforated. P-E-R, not P-R-E, whatever. You know, the paper with the holes in it, okay? So I was like, ooh, I want to learn how to do that. And so she was trying to tell me how to do it. And I ordered some paper. I had one little scrap piece of paper, and I ordered something else. And while I was waiting for that, I decided to go ahead and start. So I've got this, it was like an old piece of, looking at this going, this looks like crap. It's like an old piece of I ripped out some project on it actually that I wasn't going to use. And I was like, I'm going to coffee dye this. And so like, it just kind of, anyway, I got instant coffee and I just dabbed it, and it actually looks like it has some sort of skin disease. It's very speckly. But so I just kind of wanted to see if it worked, and it kind of worked. Like, you could color, like if I did it again, I probably would not, like, I would do it differently. I didn't have any tea. I'm a coffee drinker. And I watched a 911 Stitcher video on how to tea dye perforated paper, but I didn't have any tea. So I just used instant coffee mixed up and a paper towel. It didn't work so well, and it got kind of wrinkly, but anyway, this is what I came up with. And so I decided that I was going to start this project. And so what I wanted to do on the perforated paper in the first place is nothing as beautiful as what Kim does, but I have this hands-on design seasons 2, and I haven't started any of them, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do these on perforated paper. Pea paper. No, that doesn't sound good either. Perforated paper. And so I started doing, where is it? The October one, which is that one right there. Okay. And it's on a dark fabric, but I just didn't want to cut up a piece of fabric for that. Not really knowing what I'm going to do with it. So I started it, but then I was like, I don't know why I didn't start in the middle or whatever. I just like started, and then I was like, I'm not happy with that. But luckily the next day my other stuff came, and so I got a couple of packages of the paper from 123 Stitch. It was just like a white or off-white color, and then I ordered this stuff, Distress Oxide, which is by Ranger Tim, somebody hold, I don't know. I don't know what it's, I can't read it. Too little. It looks like that. I was like, what in the world am I supposed to do with that? And so I messaged Kim and asked her, and she tried to explain it to me. Somehow I wasn't getting it. So finally I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go outside. It was a really pretty day, and I got the perforated paper, and that's the color that it looks like on the back, like originally, okay, without putting anything on it. And so what I did is I just got a makeup sponge that I wasn't using, and I just dabbed it. And I know that you can see through it, so I'm just going to put this here. I just dabbed it all around it, and until I was happy with it, and I was like, well, that looks pretty good. And so then after I finished, and it didn't tip it, it took like just a few minutes, and then I went inside and took the hair dryer to it and just kind of dried it a little bit just to make sure it was like set. I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but I did it anyway. And then I just kind of laid it outside for a few minutes and let it get dry. And then I had these what are these called? Stretcher bars that I already had from a long time ago. I got the stretcher bars for something, maybe like a needlepoint project I was doing. Yeah, in the tacks and everything, I already had all that, and I had purchased all the different sizes, and so I just tacked it on to the stretcher bars, and then I have like a little tool that loosens up those. And so then I started stitching, and I decided that I wasn't going to stitch the entire thing just because of this paper. You know, you can see in the back. And so I'm really just going to do the October and the pumpkin. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but it's fun, and it's a quick and easy project to do. But I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I think look, this one compared to that this one looks better, doesn't it? It's a little bit darker. The color of the distress stuff that I got is Vintage Photo, because I think that's what she had. I don't know. So I got to finish that, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to put it just in a frame. I can cut it and fit it into the frame. If it's a small frame, it's not going to be a very big. And then I can do all of, every month I can do one. They're not going to take long. I'm not going to do the entire design. And I am pretty much using, I did change out on this pattern, the background, which is orange right there, it was white, and I was like, that's just too much white. I want to see some orange on it, so I just changed it to an orange color. And when I'm stitching, I was afraid to hold it in my hand, because my hands get sweaty. So with this, I can actually stick it in my I can stick it in my Lowry stand, and then when I stitch, I just try not to put my hands on the paper a lot. I don't want to get it on my hands. I haven't had a problem yet, and it doesn't, and even the white doesn't seem to be affecting, and I'm using white, doesn't really seem to be affecting the color. That's a variegated, it's like I think it's called toasted marshmallow, so it's kind of got some, I don't care. Even if it does mess it up, it'll be fine. Okay, and then I think that's it for my seasonal stitching. Well, Halloween stitching, October stitching, fall stitching. I have worked on one other thing, and this is the full coverage that I was talking about. Okay, so I was watching Steel City Stitchers, had a video out. I don't know when it was out. I don't know if it was new, but it was Kristen's Whip Parade. But at the beginning of the video, she started talking about GoodNotes and how she was using GoodNotes, and I'm like, I can't do that kind of stuff on GoodNotes. Well, I think it was a different GoodNotes, like GoodNotes 5 or something. My tablet is too old I tried to put it on there, and it wouldn't take it because it said I had to have a version, a iOS or whatever version, updated version, and my iPad isn't going to be able to do that because it's very old. So I put it on my phone since my phone is new. And so I have GoodNotes here, and she was just talking about how you can make it into a journal and put pictures. And I just had used GoodNotes to put my cross stitch patterns on that I couldn't put on Pattern Keeper, but I didn't know this other version of Good Notes did all this other stuff. So I started a folder, and I don't know if this is exactly, she said she's going to do like a tutorial, so I'm kind of interested to see how she's doing it. But I just kind of was playing around with it today, and I made a folder, a cross stitch folder. And in the folder, I'll show you. You can add pages and stuff. And so like, let's see, can you see this? What time is it? 4 o'clock. Like I took a picture, added a picture of the scissor fobs, and I wrote like, you know, when I finished that one. And then I made another page, and I love it because I can zoom in on it too, for the full coverage that I'm doing. And it's called the Nativity, and I've showed it to you before, but I have it right there, and you can zoom in. And it's the Nativity by Donna Gelsinger, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Design, and lists all the information. So I've got the picture there. And then underneath it, I put today's date, because I just took a picture of it. And you can add like a picture, like a progress picture. And so I put today's date, and then there's my progress picture. And so the next time I work on it, or whatever, I don't know if every time I work on it, I'll take a picture and then add it in there. But let me just show you in person what I've done. Now this is about 2 pages. So I finally got out of like the tree branches. And like I said before, when I first started doing this, I don't think there's like one color of these like tree branches. It's actually green, but it's all coming together as green. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so then I've moved down here, and this is the top of his hat. I don't know what that's called, his hat. And then this part is, see how all the floss, it's confetti. It is confetti heavy. This part is not. This part is not. This part isn't either. But so this is the top of the next person's, I guess a Wiseman, or a hat, and this is like the back, his back, part of his back, or the top of his robe. Let me just show you in my picture here. Okay, so right there is where what I've done, that whatever that is, and then I'm working. See how he's bent over? It's like his back, or the scarf, or whatever that thing's called. And then I think I'm working on, or I hit the top corner of this guy's hat. I feel like I'm just being so disrespectful by calling them these guys, the 3 wise men. This is a massive piece. I believe I'm like at 9.65% with what I've done now. And what I want to do is I want to get to 10%, which is to me like a good, not stopping place, but like a good, and then I'm going to work on it like 30 minutes a day, and just see how far I can get, like do an update like in a month instead of doing like an update every week. Does that make any sense? So anyway, let's just take a look at it again. And these, I am doing it 2/1 half or 10th stitch. So and that's only, although the coverage is not, it's not bad. You can still see a little bit of the fabric, but when it gets all together, you're not going to be, it's only in those solid places, and you won't be able to tell, I think, once it's framed. But this is a very big piece of fabric, so it's basically going to go all the way across. See? It's going to be pretty big. I hope it fits. Wouldn't that be awful? You know, if it didn't, okay, so if for some reason it did not fit, I figure that I could at least get that much in it. Which wouldn't be as balanced, but still it wouldn't be like, oops, hey. It wouldn't be, you know. I'm measured and stuff. I think I'm going to measure again though. Actually, I'm too far in now. I'm not stopping. It'll be fine because that's 2 pages. That's like 1/3 away across. Yeah, it'll be good. And that's it. That's all. So I'm going to end this video right here. Say bye, because I'm filming on my iPad and I don't know how much storage it has on it. That's another reason why I wanted to do this video, is I kind of wanted to try out filming on the iPad so I could show you the stuff on my phone. So hopefully that'll work. And let me know if you're using that GoodNotes 5 thing. I had no idea like it even existed, and it's pretty cool. So, all right. So bye. Have a great week. Have a fun stitching. Don't stress about your stitching. Just enjoy it. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with the things that all the projects I have that are not getting touched or that are not getting finished. And I forget that, you know, the reason I'm doing this is I just enjoy the process of stitching. Yes, I want to finish some things, but also I just enjoy the process. And so don't forget that. Don't get stressed. Don't get overwhelmed. It's especially easy to do at this time of year. The holidays are coming up. Everyone's going to be super busy, and just don't get overwhelmed with it all. Just enjoy it. It's not going anywhere, you know, just enjoy it. Just enjoy the stitching. That should be my little tagline. Enjoy the stitching. Okay. See y'all later. Bye.